Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pokemon Spectrum session number 24. This is the penultimate episode. Let us begin with warm up before we dive right into the thick of things. For this warm up, I would like to ask all the players to look back and remember how their characters were in session 1. Just take a look back, see how your characters were in session 1, and look at where your character is now. Session 24, 23 sessions later. Can you please explain to us how you think your character has evolved throughout the course of this campaign? If your answer is your character didn't change at all this entire campaign, I'm sorry, but you did the campaign completely wrong. You did it wrong. But in all seriousness, I know every single character changed. So I'm just curious what you think evolved and changed. Oh.
Cassie has certainly changed. I think that the biggest thing, it's kind of vague, but I think the biggest thing you could say is that Cassie has a lot more purpose now. And that purpose, can still change and evolve itself. Just once I stepped onto Johto, her purpose kind of changed again. Whatever goal she had in mind is kind of, put on the back burner when the whole Johto incident pops up. But I'd say like now, at the beginning of the campaign, she was just trying to kind of settle down and let life calm a little bit. She just left a weird home situation and, a terrorist organization, and, was still kind of going through the death of her father and stuff like that. And now, like, I'd say she's a lot stronger now than she was before. Even if she doesn't always necessarily act any different, because, Cassie's the sort where she keeps a lot inside, as you all know. But yeah, she's become more independent, but at the same time, she's opened herself up more to being able to trust other people, at least, in certain regards, in certain areas and all that. And it's been, yeah, it has been really cool to see the steps that she's taken throughout this campaign and, the things that have happened to her and what have made her change in such ways.
Molly, I feel, has definitely grown more confident. When I think back to the first session when Huxley basically was talking down to her at work, even though she was doing the best work with Bullet, I think she just kind of stood there and took it. But I think if Huxley said the same thing to her now, I don't think she would just stand there and take it, because she's seen a lot, she's been through a lot. She's she is. I would say a lot of that is because of Alicia. Alicia did give her a huge confidence boost. If Alicia had rejected her, she would probably she would not be in a good place right now. Definitely not. But I would say also just being part of the group and caring about other people. Also, it's made her feel more confident, and it's made her want to hold the group together. Like we've been talking. Like, I talked to a couple people on Discord that I would like it if Molly became more of a leader figure. And at this point, I'm not sure if she's quite there, but I like the direction she's going in. So we'll just see what happens these last two sessions. But yeah, I'd say definitely the confidence level has changed for her.
I'd like to believe if you can stand up to Cedric, you can stand up to Huxley. Let's be honest now, it'd be insulting if you weren't able to stand up to Huxley by this point. To Cedric, I mean, it'd be insulting.
Definitely.
So with Chase, I think when I first started, I felt like Chase was going to be a lot more introverted, and it's not that he hasn't still remained slightly introverted, like he keeps things to himself and stuff, but I mean introversion as in he wouldn't even really attempt to deal with people. He wouldn't attempt to get to know them. He wouldn't attempt to try to find a balance with them. And I feel like at this point, especially after the crossover, I feel like he's going down the path of just finding his center and just really trying to find a peace within himself so that he can find peace outwards. A lot more monkish in his perspective of things. He's always been very evasive in combat. He's never started fights until he met this group, and he's always been on the defensive, but he's willing to stand up now and be more proactive if necessary with his actions. But he still wants to do it from a place of peace first, and not a place of rage. So I think he's come to learn about himself explicitly because of Anthony's help, and I think that's helping him find just peace, I think, at this point.
In the beginning, when the explosion happened, she just curled up around you and didn't let him move, and now she's, okay, we're going to go fight a god. Let's go. We're going to go into a Team Rocket base. Okay, what toys do I bring? Whereas session 1, Tiffany would have been, what? No, you have fun with that. I'm going to be over here in my safety bubble. Everything's awesome. And I'm awesome. And I'm in denial about a lot of things. And now she's not as much in denial either.
Some of those small evolutions I've noticed is that at the beginning, first few episodes, Noire thought she thought she could protect Fabian no matter what. Like, she thought she could protect her family and stuff. Now, like, she wouldn't fail again. Like, she had a confidence, like, no matter what happened, she'll always be able to protect them. Now she's less hesitant. She's realized that's not possible. You can't always protect the ones you love, even if you try really hard. And if you learn from your mistakes from previously, sometimes they're still going to get hurt, no matter how hard you try. So, yeah, she's relearned that lesson. Yeah, her opinion about the gods has shifted a lot. First, she believed that they completely rejected her. Then she was like, oh no, that's nice. Like, oh, they provided me opportunity to, like, redeem myself. And now she's back on, okay, I can see that what you're trying to do was helping, but I can also see that you are using me, to that thing, to her. So yeah, she's a lot more jaded than before. Like, at the beginning, she was still holding up to that, like, hope that things would be okay in the end. Like, now she's a lot more, she's a lot darker place than she was before. Like, the blows and punches just kept going and going. And yeah. There was a question that was asked, how does she become jaded with Cassie as a housemate? What do you mean? Cassie was always at work or, like, going somewhere else.
It's okay, it was sarcastic anyway, because Cassie herself was quite cynical.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I will say that Noire has opened up with people, though, and she was more conservative at the start, and it was all about Fabian, and now she's realizing that, you have to let go of some of that pressure and look outwards for support and stuff. So
I noticed another recent difference from the session 1 Noire. So my question is, why did Noire finally decide to update her pin? Why did she finally decide to update her pin to have it reflect the power level she actually has?
She did that because she didn't want Kyle getting in trouble in case, like, things came out. And she also did it because if they go to Trotto and she dies, it doesn't really matter.
So selfless
There's
nihilism.
apathy. And plus, Sabrina called her out on it, so she was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Figure that might happen if I go to this thing, but I had to see if it could help Cassie with her mum.
So, let's get back to it. You guys just finished taking down the poor, defenseless, glitched Pokemon.
He started it. Literally.
These poor creatures had such a terrible toll in their life, and you just decided to kick them while they were still down.
What?
He hit us first.
So now there is a giant god, or if you don't want to call it that, legendary Pokemon, hovering in front of you, and its eyes are currently looking deep into the soul of Noire.
Well, had her hands behind her back when he saw her coming and dropped her bracelets, and then put her hands up, and then does like a bow. Giratina, Lord of the Underworld.
He continues to stare into your eyes.
I suppose you want a price to be paid? Can we talk?
His silent but continued staring at you seems to imply that he's waiting. He's listening. He's waiting. It's sort of like when you're a child and you did something really, really bad, and then your dad comes home or your mom comes home, and they just don't say anything at you. They just kind of give you the glare. They fold their arms to give their glare, and they're just like silently waiting for you to explain yourself. So that's pretty much what you're feeling right now.
Okay.
Is Noire still hovering in the air, or has she come down?
She would come down, like she had the bow, so like social subservience. Well, if you,
I think Molly is going to move next to Noire and just kind of pat Noire on the shoulder and give her a little nod.
she nods at Molly, and then she'll go, "So, I guess you want an explanation." Well, what I did was very foolish, clearly, given our current circumstances. When I walked and met with Hooper, I was told that I could get free favors in exchange for freeing him from his prison. And I didn't have anything, and the only thought in my mind was, well, why did I survive? And they didn't. Maybe I survived so I could somehow save them, or somehow get them back. Maybe this was my chance. Maybe this was why I'm here. So I made a decision to try and bring him back. I had to sacrifice the ability to bring them all back, because that wasn't possible. But I could bring one back. And when I found the bodies, they were all huddled around Fabian, trying to protect him with their last breaths. So I saved him. He was the youngest. He had the least amount of time to live before it was stolen from him from monsters. So I tried to save him. I thought, finally, all my prayers to the gods, all my hard work, maybe this is the reward. Then you appeared and you weren't very happy. So I had my brother back, but somehow I still did something wrong. I was being punished for this, wanting him to live just a normal life for him. And he might have not exactly knew he wanted to be resurrected, but he's happy living. He wants to live. He doesn't want to die. I'm so sorry to upset you. I'm so sorry that I ran from you. My first priority was to make sure he was safe, to make sure he's happy. That has always always been my first priority for my entire life. Ever since I saw him in that little crib when he was born, I knew that I would do anything for him. And I would always protect him. I'm sorry that it upset you. I'm sorry that I took up your time. So, what do you want in return that is not his life? Taken once again.
The Pokemon attempts to communicate with you. Giratina does have telepathy.
Yep.
But
He's open to it.
Strange because when he communicates with you through telepathy, it's not necessarily in your language. So you can't fully grasp every single word that he says, but you are able to understand the gist of what he's saying.
Okay.
And the gist of what he's saying is that death is non-discriminate. Death is neutral. It doesn't play favorites. It doesn't see a difference between a child, an old man, a loved one, a hated one. It doesn't matter. Death is inevitable, and it is a part of life. Some find it sooner than others. And for those who are living, they can see it as unfair. But death and life is not about what is fair or not fair. Just like life is definitely not always fair. Death is. That is the reality. And good intentions or not, you disrupted it. Whether you were aware of it or not, you disrupted it. It doesn't matter.
I understand.
What matters now is for you to fix it. He's willing to allow you to make a deal, to bargain for something that is not Fabian's life. But it wants to know what that offer is. The other option is to challenge it.
Noire nods and goes, all right. Just so you others know, all right, that are here, Can made me an offer after talking to us about Giratina. Cam offered to offer his soul to Giratina in Fabian's stead. I cannot offer that. I can't choose between people, even that are considered family ones. We can't make that decision again and survive it a second time. So I'll not give his soul for Fabian's. And given the gravity of our situation, I will not give Ho-Ho's gift. We will need it against the next fight. Perhaps even Remy would need it. And I will not allow Remy to die if he can be saved. It's cruel and unusual. So, Noire Sinclair, also known as Nausicaa Sinclair. I will let you know, Giratina, that there is a horrible disturbance. A god from the previous incarnation of this world that was destroyed utterly has subverted death and clings life in a natural form. He possesses the bodies of others and seeks to rewrite this world with the world that he created so long ago. This is a huge infraction upon the world order, upon death itself. With knowing this, providing this information, I offer to you my services in combating this threat. I was already going to do it, but also any other discrepancies that show further on other than my brothers. I would like to offer you my services both in life and in death. If I can at least visit Fabian to make sure he does not suffer for crimes I committed, that would be great. I understand if that's not available, but I'm trying to make sure that Fabian is not the one who suffers for my deeds. If that's not possible, then I'll just serve you as long as I can, if you allow me to simply say goodbye.
The legendary Pokemon continues staring into your eyes as if studying you to find out if what you speak of is the truth, which it is.
She opens her mind to him. It's like, he's all information.
And it's also looking deep into your soul to find out if this is, in fact, what you want. Is this Noire, in fact, what she wants?
What Noire wants is to live happily with her brother, Remy, and other people she cares about. What she wants is her father not to be dead, to live in the world that she did before without all the horribleness that happened. But that's not possible.
Giratina will again telepathically communicate with you, and the gist that you get is if you are offering to serve both in life and in death, know that that contract would be an indefinite one. Indefinitely.
Yes, that's why I'm off. That's why I'm asking if I could at least visit Fabian while I still remain alive. If I do an indefinite contract.
He will say yes.
Thank you, Lord of the Underworld. I'm your...
You realize this is selling your soul.
Yeah. I would sell my soul 1,000 times if it meant Fabian would be happy and alive. He is everything.
Because Chase didn't hear the telepathy that was going on, Chase will step between Noire and Giratina.
But no, she's been saying this out loud and telepathically.
But he didn't hear what Giratina said.
Yeah.
The sacrificing of everything. So he will ask Noire, what is being agreed to? It sounds to me that you're agreeing to not be with Fabian anymore.
No, I'll be able to visit him. It's just a really demanding job.
But what do you want, Noire? Do you want to be with Fabian? Or do you want to leave Fabian to this world to be cared for someone else who can't care for him like you do?
What I want is not possible. There has to be sacrifice.
Anything is possible, and yes, there has to be a sacrifice. What do you want, Noire?
What I want is for the world I lived in was not to be a lie. The world I lived in not to be destroyed. Live happily and or if not that, for this world not to erupt into chaos because of some war or some idealistic disputes. I don't know if that would be possible.
Chase puts his hand on her shoulder. You need to let all that go. What do you want from now forward? You need to let all of that go. You can't take care of yourself or Fabian if you keep hanging on to the past.
That's why I have to do... That's why I can't sacrifice another person's life for this. You understand? I can't.
I don't think it's that. He'll turn to Giratina and he'll say this. It's unfair for you to ask her to sacrifice anyone else's life. That sacrifice should come from someone who tells you that they're willing to sacrifice themselves. And if Cam is not here to tell you with his own words that he's willing to take this sacrifice for Noire, then it's unfair for Noire to make that choice for him.
I do not want Cam to sacrifice himself to do this. Do you have any idea how excruciating that would be? To have someone that you, even who has hurt you, someone you once loved more than anything, someone that you cared about with all your heart, to, even if that is tainted, even if that isn't good for you, even, I don't want to see him dead on the ground, sacrificing himself for something that he thinks will make me happy. It won't make me happy. He's only doing it because he doesn't believe he can do any more good in the world.
Chase Noire that you need to let all of that go, and no one is asking you to make a sacrifice. Chase will turn around, face Giratina, take off his sweater. My soul is yours.
No. Chase, no. You can't just do that.
Is that really what you want? Again, Giratina is now not staring into your eyes, but staring deep into Chase's eyes. And looking very deep into his soul, asking if that is really what you want.
Chase will look deep into Giratina's soul.
Giratina,
Okay.
what I want is to challenge you to a game. In the past, I've heard stories of you accepting such challenges, and while that might be fabrications to a larger extent, I'm sure there's some truth to it.
The god turns to you, and again, telepathically, the gist you're getting is it asks, what are the terms of this game?
Well, if we win, then all of our debts are forgiven, and if you win, then you have the opportunity to take all of our lives.
Giratina responds back and saying, bargaining for lives seems to be heavier than something that can just be decided upon by a mere game.
The mechanics stay the same, it's just the stakes are higher.
The gist you're getting is that it takes people's souls, people's auras. It finds them to be very valuable, and it believes that determining the fate of a soul or more souls by the winning or losing of a game seems to be disrespectful to those souls.
And yet what you're doing right here is due to the loss of one soul taken from you. You're willing to take any other.
it would prefer taking the soul that had died and was pulled away from the underworld. That's what it would prefer. However, under the circumstances, it is willing to negotiate something. This is a negotiation that only happens once in a blue moon. So the fact that it is at least entertaining that idea instead of just taking the soul now, which it can, this entire moment, it could have just taken the entire soul, taken Fabian's soul at any point now that it knows where Noire is, but it hasn't, because it's at least giving you guys the respect of listening for a negotiation. It respectfully understands why you're asking to play a game with it. And if this was a lesser serious circumstance, it would have entertained it. However, because this is a little bit deeper, it wants to respect Fabian's soul by not leaving its fate up to a game.
Okay, but this is the way that we have in order to potentially respect Fabian's soul to the utmost by allowing it to continue living on. And if we're going to leave it to a choice as to whether or not to simply trade it, why not also take one step further, leave it to a choice as to whether or not the group accepts to play the game to begin with?
It tells you that it's seen this situation before. It knows that games tend to be it understands that games tend to be a test of wits. As prideful as it is, it would be first to admit it is not the wittiest. Therefore, it's not stupid enough to attempt a game of wits, even to a human. It's
so
not.
Then, you, Giratina, are indeed saying that I, Cassandra Pine, am smarter than you.
Respectfully, it's possible. It is not a god of wits. It's not a god of wits. Therefore, it's not going to take a challenge with a soul for something that it is not unsure of. And it's not sure if it is smarter than you in a game of wits.
What if I leave the player up to you? Whether you're the one playing the game or I'm the one playing the game.
Again, no deal. It's not playing your game.
Alright.
I guess.
Well, I'm shit out of luck. Piss off over here.
You tried.
You have a feeling it knows what you're trying to do and it respects you for trying to do it. But when you have two people that are already willing, when you already have two people who are willing to give some sort of sacrifice, and somebody's offering to put it into a situation where the two known sacrifices might be off the table, it's gonna stick with door numbers 1 or 2. It's not gonna go to door number 3.
Oh, come on, mystery box.
I know.
No one can resist it.
But Cassie does notice again. This legendary has some respect, like major respect for you. So take that at least. It turns back to Chase and Noire. There are two contracts that appear in front of you. One is in front of Noire, and one is in front of Chase. And
it wants he raised it like you.
All right. Well, if that's how you want to do it, then if either of you wants to beat the other, then I would have you guys roll for it. Otherwise, if Chase is just going to let you sign first, then he'll let you sign first.
Intercept.
And Lex puts you into a ball. I am serious.
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
if you
bro.
want, I guess you can roll for speed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna roll for
Chase will win.
here we'll have to do it with. We'll have to roll for speed. I
Okay,
guess.
how do we roll for speed?
It just used a number, so Chase is
Yeah.
last.
Because like if we just use the
Speed
base speed, like
stats. Noire would
Noire
trump us
would
all.
win. Yeah, she's like
She has
like the
48.
thing that
I have
Tiffany.
27. Chase has how many? Even rolling, I don't think it's going to balance it.
Noire gets +5 for plus 10 for initiative, +8 because of the Gar rank. Like, yeah.
So Noire would be Chase technically in initiative order, correct?
Yeah. Like,
Okay. Okay.
what's like the amount of visits?
While you are alive, yes, you can certainly visit, stay with, do whatever with Fabian. Yes.
Okay. That's what she cares about.
And one thing that you notice on the contract is that there actually is, before you finish signing the contract, there is an addendum.
Okay.
And it says, while you are alive and dead, you may visit Fabian. While you're alive or dead, you may visit Fabian.
Noire smiles at that and goes, "Thank you."
Okay.
Designs its life. Ghost Rider. Yeah.
When you, as you are signing the contract, you see a flash, a vision in your head, and you see Fabian, older, much older than he is now. He's probably maybe his late 20s, early 30s. And you feel yourself sitting next to him, but not in a corporeal form. You see yourself standing next to him in a ghost form, similar to a ghost Pokemon. A ghost type, if I should say.
Me as a player just thinks this is awesome and cool, this bit. Okay. That's the ghost thing. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I was almost serious. Just had to say that. Yeah, thank you.
And that might make you smile.
Yeah.
That might make you
smile
smile.
a little bit. Okay. I can look.
And it looks like Fabian is actually talking to you as if this is perfectly normal, because it's Fabian. Talking to you in ghost form as if it's completely normal. And when you finish signing the contract disappears. Chase's contract burns away in a fire, as if the fire gets destroyed. The contract gets destroyed in fire. And then Giratina will look at the group, and it seems satisfied. You do sense sorrow. You do sense some semblance of sympathy from it, as if realizing that it didn't necessarily want to do what it was doing, but it's its job. This is part of its job, regardless of whether or not it wants to do it or not.
Noire nods and sends telepathically. I understand this is your duty. My duty is to protect my brother Fabian. So I understand you do what you must. What you believe.
It will nod, and it will disappear.
Are you guys okay with what happened?
Tiffany is going to pull Noire into a hug. That is the most foolhardy, brave, foolish. I'm proud of you, but I'm so scared for you.
Well, I got something out of it. I get to see Fabian even after I've died, so I'll get to see him and be with him even if I fall in the battle coming. So, and it didn't come. No one else had to pay for my crimes. Just me.
I know. See all my conflicting emotions right now.
You need to focus on you. We have to go and do what we can for your father.
I know.
And Chase, I'm sorry that
Chase is in a Pokeball right now.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Wait, he didn't actually end up in a ball, did he?
Lux tried, unless he fought it.
I don't have to fight. I can just say, okay, I'm out of the ball. Just like Pokemon can come out of balls. He'll just go, why I'm in a ball. Come back out of the ball.
And Lux is glaring at him then.
No, I'll look at Chase then and go, I'm sorry I signed the contract before you could, but I couldn't let you pay for my crimes. I did what I had to do. I have to pay the consequences. I don't need other people taking them for me. I can care for Fabian from afar, and by visiting him and doing what I can. I can be with him while I live. He'll still have me. Won't be as much as I might prefer, but it's something. And he doesn't have to go back to a horrible place. I've talked with Madame Vu, and Fabian wants to live. And he's happy living. And to be honest, if you went in my stead, I don't know how I would deal with the guilt of taking you from your loved ones.
There was a reason why I didn't want anyone to grow attached to me. That choice was always on my table.
People
No,
grow attached to people
Wasn't.
whether you want them to or not. It's human nature. Even Pokemon nature. I'm sorry if this has caused you any pain or suffering. It does.
No, it was your choice. Noire, Chase will take Noire's hand and put it on his chest over the bird. And I will type Noire a message inside
Okay.
Discord about what she hears and feels.
Tiffany is going to collect Noire's fallen bracelets. Do you mind if I hold on to these for keepsakes? Or do you want them back?
I have no longer need of them. But
Alright.
I don't know if they still work if you take them off. But
Well, the
But-
danger's past for why you're wearing them, right?
yeah.
This is one of the accessories you're wearing the day we met. I wouldn't mind keeping it for sentimental sake.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well- I suppose you can just run some type of tests on them to see if they have any other properties still.
True. And Tiffany will put them into her bag.
Maybe you could sell them. I don't know.
No, they're keepsakes. She doesn't sell keepsakes. That's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Silly girl.
Molly goes to Cassie and kind of pats her on the shoulder. Says that was a good try.
And she'll kind of shrug it off slightly, like not hostilely, just a sort of gesture, you know. And she looks out into the trees and says, Nora made her choice, so whatever.
It's not every day, Cassie, that you're told by a god that you might be smarter than it.
Yeah, it's not every day one of your friends sells their soul to the devil.
yeah. I stole from the Underworld. I figured I was going to be damned anyway.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about living.
Well, I figured I was going to be damned in the Underworld, so I was like,
All right, I'm sorry, you're not going to change my mind, but you made your choice, so cool. We'll all live with whatever that means. So, we still have some issues here to deal with.
Yeah.
Everyone all right? Anyone need attending to?
Right. Remy, Sniffles, come here, guys. You need healing.
Oh, yeah, I really could, Sniffles says in Pokemon as he goes over to you.
First aid kit out, first aid expertise, 1 injury mood, full HP back. I can do that 3 times a day. I'm going to do that once now. I'm going to do it also once onto Remy afterward. Cassie, you helping?
Yeah, if you need me, sure.
Yeah, more hands the better on this. I don't want to risk infection in a tropical environment like this.
Sure, then yeah, Cassie can come help.
Thank you.
Molly will approach Noire next. How are you feeling about all of that?
It could have gone a lot worse. I've thought about this moment again and again and again, how it could have turned out. And I knew from the moment I plucked him from the underworld, I would prepare to pay any price to have that smile upon his face. I always known that. Always been willing to do anything for him. And besides, Giratina showed me a vision of Fabian in the future talking to a ghost version of me. It's acted like it was normal. And I think that's better than me just disappearing one day and never coming back. I keep my promise to him that I will always come back to him. So this is one of the better ways it could have gone. Don't feel bad, okay?
All right.
Besides, we owe the gods a certain amount of debt. Their aid. Well, at least I feel like I do. You got to pay that back.
I won't pretend to understand everything that just happened, but if you're at peace with this, then well, it was your call.
Thank you for understanding that. I'm sorry if it's not would have been your preferred option.
Well, it wasn't my decision to make, so what's important now is that we need to get together. We all have other things to worry about now.
Yeah. Well, at least that was solved without anyone dying. I was quite worried that one of us wouldn't be able to make it to the next battle. Thankfully, we'll be able to help out with missing no problem.
Yeah. Anyway, is Remy okay? Does he need a potion or anything? Water?
Yeah, that's another problem. I'll give him one of my potions. Has he been treated yet?
Cassie's treating him now if you look over.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Molly will again kind of squeeze Noire's shoulder and then go attend to Bullet. Or
Lex is glaring at his brother. Does his brother notice?
Oh, yes.
Still glaring. He's waiting to see if you're coming over or not.
He'll walk over.
What were you doing? We are not separate entities.
We would never be separate.
Yeah, you being dead kind of means we're separate.
Just means I'm on another plane.
Yeah, and see how well I've handled you going to the dream world. Not very.
But I always come back, right?
Yeah, and death is one of those things you don't come back from.
I don't know about that.
You don't. Or you don't come back as you.
Fabian came back as him.
Not the same thing. And you know it.
Well, I don't know much about what my future means, but I do know that death is not the end.
It feels pretty final to me.
I would have made sure it wasn't, trust me. I'm working on it.
Fine. Don't make stupid decisions that impact us both, though.
I had to do what needed to be done so that we could.
No, see, the
Finish
thing
this
is, Noire
missing
had it
love thing.
handled. It wasn't about you. It was
Well,
never about you. It's about her.
It was about but it was about Fabian. And
Yeah, which is
Fabian
Noire's.
needed to survive, and Noire
Yeah,
wasn't
and
here.
that's Noire's responsibility, and she's right there.
But Fabian's not here to put her in a ball, right?
I don't think he could. Shrugs.
What I'm trying to say is that Fabian had no decision in her sacrificing herself. Just like you're dependent on me to be around because we're both an item. Fabian is part of Noire. So if Noire is sacrificing herself and she was going to be taken away by a death god, I don't think that would have been fair for Fabian, and I was doing that for Fabian more than anybody else. Because Fabian needs her here.
I need you here.
And I'd come back. I always come back.
You're being impossible.
That's why we work.
Not really, but... Then again, before I couldn't argue you. I would just hit you with my wood hammer and then sulk away and pout. How do you not have more concussions?
I was built this way. Built to last.
I don't know if you actually do have brain damage. Should probably... Well, no, I think brain damage might actually be outside of Tiffany's expertise. Huh.
I'm a Mimikyu, Lux.
I am too, kinda, sorta. You're a Mimikyu, though, that likes getting naked way too much.
I just embrace what's under the hood.
Yeah, even if it means everyone else is around you insanity. It's not fun. It's not pretty. And I've seen it firsthand multiple times.
Being a ghost. Just another way to be.
So is being a fairy. You should try embracing the fairy side more. We could go do floral arrangements. We could frolic. Come on. When's the last time we frolicked?
Never.
Oh. Well,
We've always been running and surviving.
true.
Maybe after all of this.
I'm holding you to that then. Gets up on his shoulder. You should go get the others on track. They're easily distracted.
Noire, just so you know.
Yep.
Now that you have become a servant of Giratina, you have officially received Giratina's minor gift, Death Sense.
Ooh.
This is a static effect from the Blessed and the Damned book. When encountering a corpse, you can always tell how many hours ago the Pokemon or trainer has died for up to a week after their death.
Okay.
In addition, you also get Giratina's major gift, Banish. As a standard action, target Pokemon or trainer. This is a daily. You can only do this once daily.
Okay.
You can remove a single target within 8 meters from the encounter for 1d2 plus 1 rounds. The target experiences no loss of time. They reappear in the same spot that they disappeared from or in the nearest unoccupied space.
Okay. That might be useful.
That might be useful.
Cool. Thank you.
So what now? Follow the tracks, go to the temple. Plans?
I think that might be our best option, but we don't know what's going to be waiting for us down there.
Yeah.
Could be your father, Tiffany.
I know, I'm aware. I've been aware for a day now. Day and a half. 2 days. I've been thinking about it a lot, guys. That's why I've been looking at the ball so obsessively. I'm aware he might have to die. I don't want it, but I'm aware. And I don't say it lightly.
We'll try to avoid that if we can.
I know, and I didn't think any other circumstance, but I need to make myself be okay with it, to be able to say it.
If he dies, it's not your fault, okay? Just keep that in your mind.
It feels like it is. this thing, I don't know how much of that thing was my mom growing up. The woman I most admired and patterned myself over was that monster. I don't know what's her and what was missing number. And now this thing is doing it to my father. He's been doing it. And stupid little idiot I am never noticed. Literally had one of my teammates go, by the way, might be a bad guy. Nope.
Oh, let me guess. Well, especially with how emotions are right now, I think something that you need to do before we continue on, Tiffany, is decide now that you're not going to make any rash decisions.
I'm trying to.
Because once we're in there, you might be prompted with certain things.
I know. Or I think I know.
Then in that case, Cassie will walk up to Tiffany and say, by the way, here. And she'll fish into her pocket and finally pull out a necklace. And so it'll just be, a pretty plain silvery chain. The necklace itself, like the pen or whatever, it's has an amber sort of angular U, to it, with like a silver kind of clasp casing on the inside of that. And within that little casing, so, it's kind of just a wire thing. You can easily see into it and everything, is a bright green gem. So, she'll just hold that out to Tiffany and say, put this on before we go in, by the way. It should help.
Maybe something shiny. Pulls Cassie into hug.
With a weak smile,
Thank you.
she'll half wrap an arm around her waist, and then pull back again and say, a couple things. First, always remember that running away is an option.
No.
That's why I'm telling you now, because it might happen. Second, something you might like a little bit more is the crystal there. It has some energy inside of it. If you focus on it right before you're about to be hit by something, it should be enough to deflect the blow. So just keep in mind, it's very limited stores. It needs time to, recharge itself essentially. And then, hey, assuming we survive all this, and she'll reach out again and like close her hand over the crystal, and then open her hand again after a few seconds, and now the crystal is like a bright orange instead. If you ever just want to accessorize, I could help switch it up a little bit now and then.
Oh, I always want to accessorize, darling. Have you learned nothing living with me?
Yeah, I've tried.
Oh, well, you are the smart one of the humans. Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Tiffany, put on her necklace.
We need to go.
Yeah, we do. Good boy, Kettle Pedal. You did amazing today.
Who is like he smiles at her and he holds up his hands.
Good boy.
And he hugs her.
Aw, hugs back. You did really well too, Sniffles. Proceeds to try to pull Sniffles into hug as well.
Oh, thanks, shucks.
She has two boys now. Okay, we should go. Right? Chase, do you need healing? Okay.
No, I feel fine.
Uh-huh.
He actually is. He's got 0.
I would believe that, though.
Think we're good.
As you guys will journey on, Sniffles will suddenly react to something and begin sniffing the air. Oh, that's not a good scent. I know that scent. It's the scent of death.
Oh, goody.
As Sniffles says that, Noire, given your new Angel of Death gifts, you can sense death. And you can sense a lot of death ahead. You guys will continue roaming around towards the source that was sort of leading you guys. And you reach the edge of not a cliff, but there's like a relatively deep ditch, large, almost crater-like ditch. And you guys will see several things. First of all, you will see rows and files of Pokemon bodies, Pokemon dead bodies. The interesting thing about these Pokemon dead bodies is they are arranged in rows and files based on specific types of Pokemon.
When Tiffany sees this, her hand goes over her mouth, falls to her knees, fights it for a few minutes, then turns her head and vomits. I caused this. I caused this.
Waka like rubs her back. It's like, and can she tell how long they have been dead for?
Well, let me finish the description. I haven't finished the description yet of what you're seeing. So there are... Cassie can probably immediately recognize rows and files of poison Pokemon, dark Pokemon, steel Pokemon, fighting Pokemon, fairy Pokemon, dragon Pokemon, and bug Pokemon. The Pokemon are currently being buried. I would say about half of them have been buried with these respectful looking graves. And the Pokemon are being buried by a large group of Litwicks.
Molly just stares like she's just stunned when she sees all of that, and she snaps out of it for a second. She turns to Bullet, and she's like, Bullet, if you need to, it might be best for you to look down at the ground for a while. Don't look up.
Yeah. Bullet puts his wing over his face and lowers his head.
Yu is also very, very shocked, and he's just staring. He's calm, but he's staring at all the death.
Can they see us? Like, are we all? Are we in the open for like?
I've assumed that you guys are trying to be discreet.
Okay.
So the Litwicks are very busy focusing on what they're doing. So I'm going to at least at the moment assume they're not noticing you because they're burying Pokemon, burying their kin.
I mean, Chase will he'll just walk out. He's gonna walk out and approach them.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, guys. It's Litwicks.
It's Chase. Yeah.
Are you trying to be discreet, or are you're just gonna?
I wish I was. As a player.
All right.
But
Well,
I feel like the motivation here is something symbolic to Chase. So
very well. Then he's not making it a point to be discreet, so everybody can witness Chase leaving. I don't know if anyone's going to do anything about
Lux
that.
gets annoyed. Ghost gets on his shoulder. You're being dumb again.
Molly sees him going. Once she realizes his intention, she's going to turn to the others and just whisper, "Stay back."
I mean, he'll pause for a while to see if he's almost at like he'll let the team acknowledge that he's going to walk out. Like he's not going to do this without letting them know. But he won't ask for permission. But he'll look, see if anyone stops him.
I mean, even if he met Cassie's eyes, she'd just hold his gaze and then let him go. So.
Everyone
Molly.
else.
Molly stares into his eyes, and she mouths, "Are you sure?"
It's the beginning and the end. It's the light.
Yeah.
The
But
light's the path. They were there at the beginning, and they're here at the end.
Molly slowly nods, and she whispers to him, just be careful, okay?
If it's dangerous, everyone do what you need to do, but do protect yourselves.
Tiffany
Don't,
nods,
don't
rocks
come
back
in,
to her.
babies. I've got Lux. I'll be okay, but don't sacrifice yourselves for me specifically. Do it if it leads to anything that involves missing No.
Shouldn't, well, I was to send like a message to you and go, shouldn't we find out where missing No is first? If we're confronting anyone, if you show up, that might alert them all to our presence. We don't know if they know we're here yet or not.
They
If they see
might.
you, they might assume the rest of us are here, and that could prove dangerous. What do you propose to avert that danger?
I mean, I normally don't think about things. I don't think about the next step of things. I tend to think about, I don't know, maybe the next hour from now. But I'm hoping that I can go in there. They can focus on me, and if they're violent, they'll take that violence out on me first, and then you guys can react.
Do we need to interact with them at all?
They're the lights. They've been guiding the way this entire time. They were there at the beginning, and they're here at the end.
Good luck.
Chase will turn around and walk out of the brush.
Right. You will approach the Litwicks. You can... the glow of the flames on the top of their head, the fires on top of their heads are glowing very brightly, which means that they are very much, awake, aware, and one of them will certainly notice your approach. When one Litwick turns around and pauses, the rest of the Litwick stops what they're doing and pause, and they turn towards your direction. What do you do? What do you say?
I go hands outstretched,